Hello everyone, it's Dom. Do you feel like you're missing out a super cool AI party and missing out on a huge money you can make? In this video, I'm showing you amazing AI companies that might be great to invest in. I made a special comparison table with pre-selected AI companies in it. I picked them very carefully to see which ones have the best AI stuff. So congratulations, being curious about investing in AI right now really means you're ahead of the others. This can make you a lot of money in the future, just like Big Time Winner. And just a heads up, I'm not a professional money advisor. I'm just learning about investing myself, like you. And I did this research myself, and I'm a retail investor using Freetrade. By the way, this is not paid advertisement. Oh, and on the end of the video, I have a surprise. I'm gonna show you which companies, in my opinion, not gonna make it, which is called shorting. Shorting. Cool, let's move on. So I'm gonna start with Google Trends. I want to show you first the AI investing for the last 5 years, and you can see that the trend is taking over. But I also want to show you AI companies, and you can see that this trend is really taking over. Right, so let's move on to my comparison table. So you can see the companies already. I pre-selected and I want to start with the first one. So the first one is Tesla, which got $500 billion market capitalization with price to earnings value of 50, which is reasonably okay for that growing company. Tesla used to have like probably 500 or 1000 like Amazon a few years ago, but now they're growing revenue and the stock price actually is a little bit down. When you think about Tesla and AI, you think hardware, namely their cars, their servers, and in near future their Tesla bot, which you can see here. Dave on Twitter posted like a while back, a year ago, "Hey Dave 7," that's his handle on Twitter. So currently Tesla got electric vehicles and is working on full self-driving and robotaxis. Obviously this is the AI, and then energy, and then Tesla bot, which gonna be massive. That's why I'm betting on Tesla in the future that they're gonna grow at least 10 times. So what you're gonna invest today should in a long term, let's say in 10 years, yield 10 times like minimum, in my opinion. Now, in terms of the Tesla advantage as of today, obviously Tesla working on full self-driving, they hire the best talent in the industry. They're working on their own supercomputer called Dojo, and they bought dozens of 100 Nvidia chips. According to the State of AI report, Compute Index, there's a chart with 100 GPU count, and you can see that Tesla is number 4 with 7,300 GPUs. Okay, going back to the table, obviously data is the king in AI. And you're thinking that, okay, Tesla have got cars and robots, but nowadays ChatGPT is a large language model, text model, and Tesla is already, well, through Twitter and Elon Musk, they're working on their own large language model. And in terms of the vision or multimodal, they have a fleet of 3 million cars, which they can query for data on a daily basis. Everyone knows that to get the best results, you need to hire the best people. And in terms of the talent, Tesla, in my opinion, is in top 3. So I don't have the latest information, but as of 2020, Tesla was number 1 most attractive company for engineering students. And on the list, you can see that SpaceX is second. Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon all in top 10. I also added the next categories like training hardware to compare all the other companies, and Tesla used their own Dojo supercomputer and got thousands of A100 chips. In terms of the testing platform, because when you train those models, you need to test them somehow. Tesla is in a great position to actually test all their models, including multimodals, in their cars as of today and Tesla bots in future, including multimodals. So training vision, text as cognitive thinking or talking, and voice. Now, in terms of the disadvantages, Tesla have got problem with negative PR related unfortunately to their CEO, which is Elon Musk, and FUD around Tesla. Okay, now moving on to Google, we can see that Google have got valuation more than 2 times bigger, but price to earnings value is much smaller. Now, Google have got actually problem because Tesla is very clear that their AI is aimed in cars and Tesla bot. With Google, it's not very clear, which is their disadvantage actually. They're very slow in rolling out AI products and they try to do everything. In terms of long-term future for Google, they bet on their subsidiary called DeepMind, based in London, to develop AI products, AGI, and then probably test them and embed them using data from YouTube or Android, which we know they recently tried with Bard. Now, Google got huge advantage today because DeepMind was actually focused on AI for years and acquired massive talent, PhD students, and also it's in top 10. Apart from that, they are actually developing also their own chips called TPUs, tensor processing units, and they've got a Android system, which is 50% of mobile market that you can roll out all AI applications. In terms of the data, Google is in a brilliant position to actually use data from YouTube, Google Search, Android users, and sensors from all Android devices. In terms of training, Google is in a really good position because they've got their own cloud platform, Google Cloud Platform, similar to Amazon AWS and Microsoft Azure, apart from those hardware chips TPU. By the way, if I'm missing anything, please feel free to comment in the comment section or write me a message on Twitter or LinkedIn. I might be missing something here, so I would be glad if you can share your thoughts. Okay, now moving on to Microsoft, we can see that Microsoft is actually 4 times bigger than Tesla and nearly twice bigger than Google, with price to earning ratio between them. But it's actually quite healthy if we take into consideration all the advantages they have and recently related to OpenAI. So their target is large language models and working on AGI. They want to reuse all of those applications in their products like LinkedIn, GitHub, and everything they own, including Windows and Office 360, and integrate with all their products. So obviously the main advantage for data partnership and everything is OpenAI. And it's worth to say that they're drawing attention of quite a lot of PhD students. So Microsoft is actually, again, quite cool company to work for. In terms of training, obviously Microsoft got their own cloud platform, Azure. And in terms of the disadvantages, they don't have anything related to hardware, like for example, Tesla. Right, if I miss anything, please comment down below or send me a message on Twitter or LinkedIn. Recently, everyone's talking about, Microsoft, Google, Tesla, Nvidia, and Apple is quiet. Like, I know that Apple in June gonna present something, like drop some AI related products and everyone gonna be surprised. They are actually the biggest here with market cap $2.5 trillion but the price to earning ratio is only half of the Tesla and slightly a little bit more than Google. Their target is obviously individual customers. Apple's long-term future is related to their hardware products like iPhones or iPads, and I said here edge devices, which basically allow them to run those AI models on your phone and without this delay between the network layer. You don't need internet to execute that. Also, imagine working ecosystem with multiple devices, iPad, watch, iPhone, and your MacBook talking together using some AI agents. Now, this might be a shocker for some people because Apple have 50% of mobile market, and those iPhones for last few years have got neural engine chips. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here is the compare iPhone model. So I'm going to compare the latest model, the best one, something few years ago, and then probably 5 years old phone. So I want to show you that Apple few years ago invest in their own chips, bionic chips, and they started with neural engines few years ago. Now they're on 16 core neural engine, and this chip is allowed to run on the phone without internet AI models. This is quite huge. All it needs is now to update the software, and millions of devices are ready. Now, in terms of data, Apple has not a lot of data, to be honest, like compared to Tesla or Microsoft with OpenAI. They do have sensors data like location. They could use camera, they could use microphone, but those are, privacy first issues which Apple probably never gonna go down this road. So they've got limited data. Now, in terms of testing platform, it's worth to say that obviously they're gonna test on iPhones and iPads, which is brilliant. And the disadvantages is that nobody knows what they're doing. Hopefully we're gonna discover it in June event. Okay, moving on to Nvidia. I know that everyone's talking about AI, so we're gonna go for GPUs. First thing that you can think of is Nvidia, but market cap looking good, which is bigger than Tesla, which is weird, but price to earnings value is 150. I actually started to do this whole research because I wanted personally to buy Nvidia, but this is a no-no for me. They need to grow 10 times to 20 times to justify this price to earnings value. And they're predominantly, clients who's paying them is business on those AI chips. So that's actually their disadvantage. Okay, now I'm going to show you the rest of the table because they didn't make into my initial recommendations because briefly, Facebook got pretty cool market cap and pretty cool price to earnings ratio, but it lacks of any advantages, to be honest. The disadvantages, they don't have a clear target. They try to use AI in their metaverse, in their VR headsets. Their advantage today, access to Messenger, WhatsApp, comments on Facebook, and their data is actually social media, but that's pretty much it. And they do some AI models and open source, but I can only see they're going out hardware route with Oculus and Portal, but I personally believe it's going to be so hard. Moving on to Amazon, they're $1 trillion company with PE value 100, which is crazy. In terms of the AI, they do have B2C and B2B. Oh, that's wrong. And their long-term feature is actually AWS, the same. And I see only their advantage as cloud, and Google got it, Azure got it, And you know, Tesla is growing their dojo, which probably they gonna also allow external customers to use in the same model as AWS. So the moment they're gonna be a fourth player in the cloud business for AI, like, or actually Nvidia is the fourth, so fifth player. Yeah, AWS, that's not a unique selling point for Amazon. And their data right now is it's e-commerce and Alexa, which is good. It's really good, but I don't think it's enough. I personally believe they're too late to the game. Now, TSMC, 430 billion market cap, brilliant, good starting point. PE value 13. I love it. This is actually quite cool to invest in. But the question is, are they going to grow 10x? Might be. So this is something I could invest in. AMD PE value is a no-no. Salesforce, which is great in AI, actually. A good market cap, B2B. Their CTO recently bought the chat.com domain for 10 billion personally. Okay, so those are the stocks I would choose from as a retail investor. You know, I'm using Freetrade to do my retail investing. If you want, I can share the link to this company. It's a UK based company, but I think you can use it in the whole Europe. You can invest with Freetrade in if you're in Europe. So as I promised, from those companies that I'm not going to invest, there are some companies that potentially they're not going to make it. I think they're going to stick around, but their market cap or valuation or share price might go down, especially with current market conditions that are kind of bearish. Like if I would want to short, I would short Amazon based on market cap $1 trillion company and price to earnings 100. So Amazon get the whole revenue from retail and add the AWS business to it with a huge margin, and then, you know, report it as a whole one company. Thank you for staying till the end. I would really appreciate your comment if you can leave a comment down below what you think about my investment strategy and my picks. Please subscribe, follow me on Twitter or add me on LinkedIn, and see you on the next video. Crypto maybe? No? Let's see.